having some group exercise and presentation that we want to have some national project implementation partners and arrangement. Unfortunately, we will have the tea break. Hopefully, our participants from the other regions can have a break. 4:30 to 5 as well. And then we will identify who will be the focal point of each country. Because after these 2 days workshop, we have to continue to work virtually to proceed all the work that we need to submit letter to the WMO Secretary General to ask them to start this pre-concept to be submitted by January to the updatation fund. We need your strong engagement and letter, and we can also send it to the adaptation fund. So we need focal point from each country. I know that we had focal point before when we started Hydrological phase 1, but now we want to update to be submitted by January because some of the members already have changed their PR or Hydrological advisor, and it may be happen again in the focal point. So we want to really know who is the focal point for the Hydrological project before. And then we will show you one endorsement letter, which is a draft version, because you can, we can review together. If you have any suggestions, we can change. And then hopefully, if it's possible, we can sign that endorsement during the workshop, maybe by tomorrow. Or if you need to discuss internally to your country and other stakeholders or your managers, you can anybody decision maker together. We invited all the decision makers, so hopefully and then hopefully we can sign the letter during the workshop. Endorse is not during the workshop, maybe by tomorrow. We have to discuss with your minister or somebody else. Then you can go back and discuss and then ask your managers, you can anybody decision maker quickly. The reason why I'm saying that our hope and then January, if we cannot make the letter and do the pre-process by January, then we have to try again. If we have to discuss, so it will be delayed a little bit. Then hopefully the workshop are ready to submit pre-concept because the adaptation fund will require pre-concept and then we have to work with the concept note. If we cannot make the letter and you review again next year, if it's possible, or next year, if not, then we have to a little bit postpone late this year. That's the pre-concept for today. The adaptation fund will require schedule, and tomorrow we will have some presentation and discussion that you will share your experience. How's your sector? Data sharing, what about your flood and drought forecasting system? What about concentrated water resources assessment? So we can share about those experience, and then we can discuss about next step for the project concept note by presentation. And then we will find that you will share your example, how your sector what data sharing, and we will share about the presentation and also agenda and material with all of the users. So we can share about those experience, and then we can discuss about next step for the project concept note by presentation. And then we will
Thank you very much, ma'am. I invite Ganga Brahmaputra
and we will share about the presentation and also agenda and material with all of the users. So we can share about those experience, and then we can discuss about next step.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Chief Guest and Secretary Ministry of Arts and Science, Government of India, Director General, India Hydrological Department, and PR of India Development, Director Water and Biosphere of Development, Joint Secretary and PR of Nepal Arts and Development, Chairman Central Water Commission of India, State Hydrological Department and Water and PR of India Development, Director Water of Workshop of Development, Director Joint Secretary and PR of Water Development, colleagues from home and abroad of India, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, very good morning. I am very glad to be a part of the regional workshop of this project that global hydrological data from our system, initiated by the 18th WMO Congress. Assalamu alaikum. I am very hopeful that I am will have a good discussion during the workshop and innovative ideas system will come out to completed by the WMO Congress. Assalamu alaikum. I am very excited that vulnerable areas of GBM basin are going to be identified as pilot areas in the idea phase of the development. Come out to completed by the which will cover Bangladesh. I am very excited that Nepal. But in this river basin have transformed characteristics identified and for river countries like Bangladesh. It is really very challenging to generate early warning with limited data resources of Nepal. This initiative could be a good platform to enhance the data availability which will continue in socio-economic development process over and marginal limited data region of Nepal. There are huge initiatives will be a platform to enhance five countries of GBM basin to generate integrated early socio-economic development to improve the decision making at regional, national and community level. Bangladesh Meteorological Department is targeting awareness system through world countries and evidence project to generate integrated early socio-economic for Bangladesh. Improve the decision making. Research is enhancing the network and Bangladesh Meteorological capabilities. This project is also developing a decision support system for drought monitoring and I am looking forward to the better scenario of enhancing the network. This will strengthen the capability in building this informed and resilient decision support system. I would like to conclude thanking all the colleagues working WMO and Hydrological organizations of this region. I would also like to thank the organizers and WMO for bringing together national and regional stakeholders to present and discuss the concept, thinking and implementation plans towards a annual and sustainable growth of this GBM basin. Thank you and like to thank the organizers and WMO for bringing together national and regional stakeholders.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I invite Dr. Ram Kapal Khadija, PR of Nepal, to kindly deliver his address.
Thank you and like to thank the organizers and WMO for bringing together national and regional stakeholders.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I invite Dr. Ram Kapal Khadija, PR of Nepal, to kindly deliver his address.
Good morning to all. Mr. Secretary, Chief Guest, this conference, DG, Director General, and PR of Indian Meteorology, India, WMO. Good morning, to all. Mr. Kim, Mr. Sajid Rahman, orders, distinguished delegates, Chief Guest, this workshop. First of all, DG, Director General, NPR of Indian Meteorology, the organizer for WMO Good Morning Hydrological Department, and all meteorological officers for providing this opportunity to speak opinion during this inaugural session of hydrological status of system. DG, Director General, stand hydro SO. The organizer, as you know, Nepal is a unique characteristic, high topo variations from lower elevation, 59 meter sea level, 8,000 meters mean sea level, that is Mount Everest, also known as hot pole. As you know, Nepal is we have subtropical climate, high topo variation from temperate climate, hills 59, while Arctic climate, high mountain Himalayas, with short areas also known as hot pole. Nepal is rich in water resources, tropical and subtropical, many beautiful places, attractive climate from all more than third of the agricultural and it contributes more than 50% on its water resources, tropical and subtropical, many emission contribution very low. It is accounted more than third of the agricultural. The impact of climate change is more than our studies based on historical observations shows that temperature is increasing average 0.05 degrees accounted, but the rising rate of annual temperature, high mountains and Himalayas is very alarming. 0.0. Our studies based on historical observations shows that temperature prominent impacts of global warming observed in the countries, decreasing snow cover areas, rising rate of infiltrating glaciers and increasing glacier lakes, very alarming, posing more threats to glacier lakes. Unseasonal and unexpected global warming events causing landslides and soil erosion, mountains and wild flash flooding, river valleys, glacier lakes. Similarly, we observe the high inter-seasonal climatic variation, unseasonal unexpected temperature, rainfall amount and intensity patterns, and soil order climatic resulting in high variation, flash flooding, and river availability that face similarly what we observe climatic variation, which directly affects life and livelihood, amount and intensity patterns, loss and damage caused due to high frost, rainfall, and flood, monsoon year season of this year, 21 are more than 10 million lives, as well as claim that 240 plus people during the last year. The unexpected intense rainfall in October of 2021 just one season also destroyed a lot of infrastructure and agriculture products, that is rice and more than Nepal government has given priority to improve hydrometeorological services. Department of Hydrology and Meteorology also sought which stands for EHM, that is the National Hydrometeorological Service in Nepal. Automation of hydrometeorological stations with real-time telemetry system, installation and operations of weather radars, early warning system installation, operation and dissemination of information based on real-time weather data from stations, radars, satellites, weather forecast, as well as the other simulation results are the major prioritized activities that has been already started Nepal. Respected chairperson, I would like to thank WMO for its great contribution, capacity building activities, weather forecasters to the managers, the simulation through various major prioritized conducted by WMO already started organization. I hope this initiation of I would like to WMO for its great in Ganga Brahmaputra Meghna Basin will further help to improve hydrometeorological services in my country Nepal as well as GBM the mutual exchange of knowledge and products based on scientific observed real-time data acquired through various techniques and modeling tools are very essential for optimum use of natural resources and minimize the loss and damage caused due to climate-induced disasters. I express my best wishes for successful implementation of Hydro SOS program, which ultimately helps to enhance EHMS capacities in this GBM river basin so that valuable science-based knowledge, products, and the information are disseminated to all relevant stakeholders like water resource users, farmers, managers, policymakers, and humanitarian agencies as well. I am sure that these activities will definitely enhance resilience capacity of people, communities, and countries in these GBM river basins to cope and adapt impact of unavoidable climate change. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your address. I now invite Dr. Karma Dutchu, Director and Permanent Representative of Bhutan with WMO, to kindly deliver his address.
Very good morning and greeting from Bhutan. Dr. M. Ravichandran, the Honorable Secretary, Minister of Earth Sciences, Shri Arpit Sinha, the Chairman of the Central Water Commission, Ministry of Jal Shakti, the Government of India, Dr. Mohaputra, the Director General, the Permanent Representative of India with WMO, Dr. Johannes, Director, Water and Cryosphere, and Dr. Kim, the Head of Water Resources from the World Meteorological Organizations, the Permanent Representative of Bangladesh, Nepal, and distinguished participants and ladies and gentlemen, very good morning. First of all, I, on the behalf of the Buddhist delegations, would like to submit apology for not able to travel to India to attend this face-to-face workshop, mainly due to firstly to the COVID protocol requirement, and also Bhutan has a strict the COVID protocol rules where our delegation has to stay in a quarantine for 2 weeks before we return to the Bhutan. And together, I think we have delegations from participants from the National Center for Hydrology and Meteorology, and as well from the Gross National Happiness attending together from our conference room here. But definitely, I think the Bhutan and delegations, we will miss the face-to-face meeting, particularly as our NCHM has got the opportunity to work with the Honorable Secretary, Dr. Ravichandra, and also Shri Dr. Sinha, the Chairman of Central Commissions. We have been working in a number of the very important projects, mainly in the flood forecasting and exchange of hydrometeorological information between the Government of Bhutan and Government of India, and also with all the WMO colleagues and other colleague of the other peer of the Nepal, Bangladesh, and other participants. We know we live in a very interconnected world and the interdependent world, and particularly when we talk about the weather, climate, and water resources, it is more interdependent and interconnected. And therefore, particularly when we talk about the integrated water resource management, so river basin planning is very important. It is the planning unit for development and that has been recognized and has been promoted globally. And when we talk about the river basins, is more or less we are talking about the upstream and downstream relationship. And often I think we feel in the current contracts, it is often the upstreams were blamed for the flooding downstream. So therefore, this particularly the Hydro SOS project is a very important to further enhance the early warning system between the upstream and the downstream relationship. And if you look particularly to the work of the WMO, at present, I think for the past many years, has been focusing mainly on the climate, particularly in the meteorology part. But with the recently now, when we talk about the climate change threatened all us, and water is become the primary vehicles through which we feel the impact of the climate change. So therefore, particularly WMO now has come up with the climate and water coalitions, and also institute the Hydrological Assembly, a part of the WMO Congress, and this is a very important initiative, and therefore even WMO, I think now they are promoting the Earth system approach, and this become very important, particularly Hydro SS become very important, particularly looking at to the river basin approach, not looking at the administrative boundaries of each countries, but looking at a very holistically. As we all know that Bhutan is upstream in the eastern Himalayas, and all the rivers from the Bhutan flows to Indian state of Assam and West Bengal. Can you hear us, La? So Bhutan being the upstream, so we share our hydromet data with the government of India through Center Water Commissions. And in fact, I always consider the relationship between particularly Bhutan and India is a win-win situations where we share informations, but government of India invest in the installation and operation of the observation stations in the Bhutan. So I think the Hydro SS will more or less will be further enhancing this data sharing mechanism, not within the two countries, but also in the regions. And also, we are very thankful the WMO has piloted this Hydro SOS in Bhutan. And in fact, our Manas Basin was selected as a pilot. But particularly, I think we should consider this as a lesson learned, and what is good and what is not, when particularly implementing the Hydro SOS at the regional scale. So particularly from the Bhutan, I would like to mention that the Hydro SOS should focus on development of system to generate product and services to enhance the professional capacity of the NMHS. And let us not focus too much time and resources for the stakeholder consultations, and also engaging number of the consultants for preparation of reports, which nobody reads and does not benefit. So I'm saying this because particularly I think every country has their already a mechanism established to how we share and disseminate information within the countries. I think we should use the same mechanisms. So what we need particularly is to enhance the professional capacity and the system, how we generate the informations. And lastly, I would like to take this opportunity to thank WMO and for your continued support and assistance. And I also like to thank IMD for your leadership and continued support and organizing this very important workshop. Lastly, I call upon all the partners of the Hydro SOS to continue work together under the WMO umbrella to make our country, particularly the MHS, fully capacitated to meet the increased threat from the existing and emerging hydromet hazards and its cascading impact on the society towards building a strong, resilient South Asia, and which will benefit not only the region in Asia, but also the entire globe. So with this, thank you once again and giving this opportunity. Thank you very much, and Tashidelu.
Thank you very much, sir. I now invite Mohammad Fazlur Rashid, Director General, Bangladesh Water Development Board, to kindly deliver his address.
respected chief guest, Dr. M. Ravichandran, Secretary, Ministry of Arts, Science and Technology, India, Dr. M. Mahapatra, DG, Meteorology and PR of India with WMO, all the PR of participating countries with WMO, and Mr. B.P. Yadav, Head, Hydrology Division, IMD, New Delhi, dignitaries, guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and very good morning. It is indeed a great honor and privilege me to be part of this wonderful event. I am very pleased to attend the inaugural session of the WMO workshop on the hydro-SOS in Ganga, Brahmaputra and Meghna Basin, hydrological status and outlook system hydro-SOS developed by the WMO provide the crucial global scale information needed to help decision makers and citizens understand the current status of the world's freshwater system and adapt in light of the near future outlook. The geographical location of Bangladesh makes the country greatly prone to disasters. Being a downstream country and the outlet of greater GBM basin, and also the influence of the Bay of Bengal water and river-related disasters like flood, riverbank erosion, cyclones are very common every year. With the lack of proper information of the upstream region, it is difficult for us to manage the disasters and take proper timely precaution before the disasters and take proper timely precaution before an event. For this reason, hydrometeorological data sharing is very important for Bangladesh. Now with the HydroSOS initiative, data exchange between upstream and downstream countries enhances our chance to fight these disasters with greater efficiency. Bangladesh Water Development Board has always strived to provide the best forecast and early warning services to protect and build flood-resilient country. With the use of upstream data received through the HydroSOS initiative, our modeling system can be improved further and we can generate more accurate flood forecast in our country and be well prepared against flood disasters. As a result, property loss and financial loss can be minimized and economy of Bangladesh can be greatly benefited. In this connection, I would like to share that Bangladesh Water Development Board is running a project with the help of World Bank, the strengthening hydrological information with, and our partner is Bangladesh Meteorological Department also in this project. We are also working with Google to forecast the flash flood prone northeastern region of Bangladesh. Finally, I would like to thank those who are facilitating and participating in this workshop. I hope it will be an interactive workshop and will benefit the participant countries, professionals, technically. I wish the absolute success of this workshop. With that, I would like to conclude my speech. Thank you all once again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I invite Shri R.K. Sinha, Chairman, Central Water Commission, India, to kindly deliver his address.
Very good morning and namaskar to all the officers, delegates present over here and along the online also. My respected Mr. M. Ramichandran, Secretary, Government of India, Mahapatra Sahab, all other officers coming from Bhutan, presenting through the online system and physically present over here, I welcome with all my folded hands. So as we all know, disaster with ACI specific and the country itself here playing a very much throughout the role within the country. So the present initiative, I feel it is highly important in view of the ongoing incidents. So as we know that in India, average flood damages during the period from 1953 to 2000 over long-term data we have been here is around 6,000 crores annually. So floods are part of the natural ecosystem and cannot be fully controlled or avoided, but can be minimized to minimize losses. The proposed project HydroSSS envisages developing the transboundary hydrometeorological early warning system over the Ganga, Brahmaputra and Meghna region. The study area, that is the GBM, constitutes major flood-prone area and of India, which is drained by transboundary rivers. We face flood in this region every year in varying intensity. Right bank tributaries of the Ganga, namely Yamuna, Chambal, Son, etc., are mostly regulated with large storage, while the left bank tributaries of the major Ganga Basin, that is the Gandak, Ghagra, Kosi, are unregulated and causing floods in UP, Bihar, and West Bengal every year. So especially we need to work on the very hard basis with the countries in the region so that people in the area are really benefited and losses are minimized. The Brahmaputra, on the other hand, is not having any storages and thus causes flooding and especially erosion in the states of Assam as well as Arunachal Pradesh in the northeastern part of our country. Hence, development of this transboundary cooperation mechanism is very vital for India to plan its flood management. In this regard, India's existing hydrometeorological network, forecasting and modeling system will be highly useful. It is to be emphasized that flood management is a very complex issue that needs a holistic approach, including both structural and non-structural interventions. Flood forecasting is considered as the most cost-effective non-structural measures for flood management. Central Water Commission in India is the nodal line department in the country to provide flood forecasting related information. Flood forecasting and related flood warning in India was commenced in a small way in the year 1958, long back, with the establishment of one unit in Central Water Commission, New Delhi, for flood forecasting for the river Yamuna, and the particular location was Delhi itself, where we are present over here. From there, we have improved over the years, and presently there are around 1,741 hydrometeorological sites being operated by Central Water Commission across the country, covering 20 major river basins of India. And coming to the flood forecasting, you will appreciate that India is attaching many importance to this subject, that in the 1958 from 1 to presently, we are now at 331 stations, having distribution as the 332 as the flood forecast station and remaining as the level forecast stations. 11,721 flood forecasting, consisting of the more than 8,000 level remaining inflow, were issued by Central Water Commission during the monsoon of the last year, that is 2022, and still within the monsoon of 2021, particularly in the state of Tamil Nadu, we are going with the flood forecast. And the last year, accuracy of the level forecast was 98% plus, and the inflow forecast was 88% plus, and the overall forecast was about 96%. So we are highly seized of the matter of this non-structural interventions so that CWC is able to serve the nation well and the downstream countries as well, particularly. Not only expansion of this activity and network, CWC has also focused on modernization of the network to keep updated by using the latest technology to meet requirement of real-time data collection, automatic data transmission, and flood forecast formulation, expeditious data dissemination. Central Water Commission has undertaken modernization of its data collection and flood forecast network. A total of nearly 1,000 hydrometeorological stations have been automated using the satellite transmission system, and it is the automatic data acquisition and the real-time data transmission through that satellite-based telemetry system. So activity of flood forecasting comprises of, as already I said, that the level and the inflow forecast, and we know that the inflow forecast is used by the various dam authorities in optimum operation of the reservoirs for safe passage of flood downstream, as well as to ensure adequate storage in the reservoirs for meeting demand during the non-monsoon period. Level forecast helps in user agencies in deciding mitigation measures like evacuation of the people and shifting people and their movable properties to the safer location. And I will say that this year we had something very specialized type of initiative, starting from the IMD to Central Water Commission to the NDRF, ultimately so that we are on the ground and less time is wasted in reaching the information to the stakeholders who are working on the ground. In recent past, flooding due to releases from the dams is also becoming a frequent phenomena. And so CWC has already taken the initiative for the decision support system for the integrated reservoir operation of all major flood-prone river basins of the country, which will enable project authorities to take these release decisions considering downstream as well as the upstream conditions and the expected inflows into the reservoir. In terms of formulation of forecast, CWC is using a statistical correlation as well as the mathematical modeling both. On basis of correlation, the flood bulletin forecasts are issued to various stakeholders, including disaster management authorities, to take care of this phenomena. Output of mathematical model used to formulate 5 days advisory. So we are increasing the warning time, and we have reached to this 5 days till now. To keep the date with latest technology, in 2018, Central Water Commission entered into the collaboration with Google Asia Pacific Private Limited to take work forward improvement in flood forecasting using artificial intelligence and machine learning based flood level and inundation forecast showing extent as well as the depth of the inundation. So apart from above development on data collection analysis, time dissemination of these for the is critical for effectively managing the resources. So all these 5 days are available on the dedicated platform developed by the Central Water Commission. And we are also, flood information is loaded on the Facebook page, Twitter handle of the CWC flood forecast dissemination system. We are having daily flood situation report come advisory. Everything is available on the dedicated platform. As such, India's experience will be very useful in this project, which we are proposing and setting right now. And we look forward for collaboration with WMO to develop a system that will be useful for all co-basin states. In the end, I wish all the best for the success of the performance of this initiative. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your address. Now I invite Dr. Johannes Kalman, WMO, to kindly deliver his address.
Yeah, good morning, Excellencies, ladies, gentlemen, colleagues, friends. I would like to start my short words with really thanking the government of India to make this possible here. So it's not easy to organize a person-to-person meeting from different countries in actual circumstances. And I really appreciate this because only when we come together and we can really understand each other and build the trust we need to do what we need to do, we can be successful. So thanks a lot for making this possible here. I think it is a very good sign that we really can do something together. Let me also convey the thanks and greetings of our Secretary General, who stresses a lot these days that climate change is felt through water. And we have heard that in the introductory remarks of our colleagues here. So the real topic that we need to address to resolve sustainable development issues and to address climate change is to get our water stuff right. And we have just heard from the Commissioner for the Central Water Commission what that means. I had prepared a little bit of also technical and scientific talk about Hydro-SOS, but I think I shouldn't do it because we have the local experts here. So let me just reflect two experiences I had on the way of coming here. I was first in Glasgow in the COP meeting, and it is clear from that meeting that the topic that will surface in the next COP, which is in Egypt, which is a absolutely super water-stressed country, and then in the United Arab Emirates, will be the water topic, will be the adaptation topic. Hydro-SOS is one tool that we can provide not only the region with, but the world with, to address this issue of adaptation. And also, I have just flown in here from Singapore, where the Bloomberg New Economy Foundation held their business meeting, their annual business meeting. And let me cite two people who have addressed this meeting. The Secretary General of the UN has said, now it's time to shift from mitigation only to adaptation. He called for a 50% investment in adaptation topics because this is what the people on the ground will suffer from also. So it's clear that we need to think more about this adaptation topic. And as I said earlier, Hydro-SOS, in my view, is one of the main tools that we can provide the world with to address this. And very interestingly, the Vice President of China addressed this meeting, and the one single thing he stressed the most was multilateralism. So here we are in a multilateral group to address one of the big ticket items of our future and of the future of our children and the next generations. We have heard about floods and droughts, but we also know that our water availability from the cryosphere will change dramatically over the coming 50, 100 years. So we now have the chance in the next 10 years, 15 years, to build something that will carry on for the future generations to live with the dramatic changes that will come. We know this. We cannot close our eyes and focus only on today. We need to do our part in making this planet, this country, this river basin a livable and a good environment for the future. So I think it is really beautiful that we can gather here in this river basin. This is not a developed world river basin. I have been the German delegate to the Rhine Commission. I know how difficult multilateral scientific developments are, but I also think that especially a river basin like the one that we are having here with 5 countries that can work together can be an example for how we need to do business differently in the future to give the future generations the chance they deserve. So I want to mention one last point because that wasn't so much in the discussion that I heard so far, and this is the Hydro-SOS will also give us the chance to really improve our understanding of the Earth system. WMO is addressing the Earth system a lot from the Congress we had 2 years ago, and the 2 biggest missing parts in improving our modeling capabilities for Earth systems are the deep ocean and the hydrology cryosphere-related issues. So we can not only improve our water management or future food and energy potentials, but we can also, with the Hydro-SOS, support our Earth system modeling a lot This is super important, and this wasn't mentioned so often these in the introductory remarks. So here we have this really beautiful, maybe golden opportunity to, from this area of the world here, to provide something meaningful for the WMO. And the WMO is not me or within the WMO, is the members of the WMO. So it's you and it's all the other members who need this around the world. So with that, I want to close and thank again that we can be here. Thank you for your travel, for your interest, for your contribution, and I hope we can really bring this down again to the practical outcome, that we can make a step forward to agree on how we need to now build the real implementation phase of this system in this part of the world. Let's be practical, let's try to agree on how we work together in building this implementation phase of the Hydro SOS with a concrete proposal. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to now invite our chief guest, Dr. M. Ravichandran, Secretary MOS and DST, to deliver his inaugural address to the Extreme Gathering.
Dr. Jonas Kalman, Director of Water and Cryosphere, WMO. Dr. Muhammad Azir Rahman, Director, Bangladesh Met Department and PR of Bangladesh with WMO. Dr. Ram Gopal Karbuja, Joint Secretary and PR of Nepal with WMO. Sri R.K. Sinha, Chairman, CWC, Ministry of Jal Shakti, Government of India. Dr. Mahapatra, Director General, India Meteorological Department and PR of India with the WMO. Dr. Rin Kim, Head Hydrology and Water Resources, WMO. Dr. Muhammad Fazlur Razid, Director General, Bangladesh Water Development Board. Sri Yadav, Head of IMD Hydromet Division and convener of this workshop. And also Mr. Wei Xingbing, Hydrological Advisor, China Meteorological Administration. Mr. Karma Tupchu, Director of National Center for Hydrology and Meteorology, Bhutan, and PR of Bhutan with WMO. And respected international and national delegates, distinguished dignitaries, scientists who are present here and also virtually from different places, invited guests, my dear colleagues, friends, and ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning to all of you. On behalf of Government of India, it is my great pleasure in welcoming you all for this workshop to deliberate hydrological status and outlook system project in Ganga Brahmaputra Meghna Basins. It is indeed a great pleasure and pride for me to be here in person amongst the eminent scientists and meteorologists and hydrologists from WMO, South Asian nations, Bhutan, Bangladesh, India, China, and Nepal. There are many senior officers from various Indian ministries and other scientific institutions who are assembled here and virtually for deliberating on very important and challenging issues of monitoring and forecasting hydrological status in different river basins of South Asia. As the Director General already pointed out, this is the first meeting after the COVID face-to-face and to discuss very important issue of this outlook system for the Ganga, Brahmaputra, and Meghna basins. I think this WMO workshop, I think it will take many initiative and choosing, and also I thank WMO for choosing India to host this event and the government of various countries for participating together physically for this brainstorming meeting to develop scientific plans of hydro SOS, which are multinational involving transboundary river basins. I express my warm greetings to all of you and thank you for taking initiative on the subject that is significant relevance to all the South Asian community and in sync with the Government of India policy on water management outlined in the white paper prepared by the Ministry of Jal Shakti. Government of India shares the common global goal for meeting the demand of the day for managing the risk from changing climate and associated extreme weather events. India is poised to play a major role in the community of nations in the 21st century. The optimum utilization of our water, land, and natural resources is extremely important in achieving the sustainable development goals towards the disaster risk reduction in India. India targets to build a safer and disaster-resilient nation by a holistic, proactive, technology-driven, and sustainable development strategy that involves all stakeholders and fosters a culture system. Enhancement of capabilities of seasonal and sub-seasonal forecast and impact-based climate and weather forecasting modeling system for predicting available water status and its outlook. And therefore, we appreciate the efforts of WMO in building such programs across the countries for improving forecast of the river basins. The initiative on Hydro SOS, I think I remember SOS in the marine terms. I think in the earlier time in the Morse code, they use ship code. If there is a problem, they send SOS. SOS means save our ship or save our soul. And I think it is aptly named Hydro SSS. So hydrology is in distress. So it is calling us to work together to get a better solution for this area. The accessibility to clean drinking needs to be fundamental right of every living being on the planet Earth. The forecast services provided by WMO recognized Regional Specialized Meteorological Center, New Delhi of India, IMD, for WMO ESCAP panel countries, namely Bangladesh, Maldives, Myanmar, Oman, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Thailand, is very well appreciated globally for its accuracy in prediction on tropical cyclone. The improved accuracy of EWS has resulted in a significant reduction in human casualties in the recent years, and we now aim at zero loss of life in the coming years. Another WMO program being implemented from India in the severe weather forecasting program, under which tailor-made forecast for extreme weather events, namely heavy rainfall, strong winds, high waves, and storm surge, is being provided to the participating nations. Our efforts for capacity building of scientists of South Asian NMHS and various training programs which are conducted by WMO recognized regional training center are worth mentioning. Once the recent milestone is operationalization of WMO program, namely South Asia Flash Flood Guidance System. Under this project, IMD has established a regional center for development, capacity building, and its operationalization in the South Asia. Hydrology division of IMD has now developed the capabilities to provide alerts and impact-based advisories about the likelihood of flash floods, not only for India, but also for Nepal, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, and Bangladesh, for more than 100,000 watersheds. Though this service was commissioned in the recent, maybe in the October 2020 by IMD, it has already earned accolades from WMO and HRC and participating NMHS in the region for accurate forecasting of many flash floods events during the current flood season of 2021. Hydrological Status and Outlook System Project is the latest initiative of WMO in collaboration with the IMD under the Ministry of Earth Sciences and Central Water Commission under the Ministry of Water Resources, along with NMHS of other member countries of Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and China for development of river basin, hydrometeorological forecast system, and so on. This program proposes to establish a framework for providing a viable solution to the water security issues in India and neighboring countries by establishing a mechanism for proper water management. According to the Organization of the Economic Cooperation and Development Report Total water demand is expected to rise over 70% by 2025, with a huge demand-supply gap that is expected to increase in the coming decades. This may possibly lead to water stress in South Asian region. Population explosion, urbanization, changing lifestyle, and high demand for agriculture and industrial practices are become a water scarce zone in not too distant future. Accessibility of clean water for sustainability is cause of concern for the government in South Asian countries. Water security is not only water sector issue problem or particular problem anymore, but now it becomes socio-economic and environmental concern that transcends the political boundaries across the states and nation. Storms, droughts, floods, and extreme temperature all figure on the list of world worst disasters. Storms and floods account for about 79% of the total disaster due to weather and water and climate extremes, and causes about 55% of the lives lost and 85% of the economic losses. And drought causes roughly about 35% of the lives. The problem is further compounded by climate change and its impact on water availability both globally and in India. I am happy to see that Ganga Brahmaputra Meghna Basin has been selected in the pilot phase for the first assessment of identified priority needs and willingness to collaborate and pre-existing cooperation mechanism between the member countries. This basin supports one of the biggest biodiversity ecosystem and number of livelihood opportunity for high population density. Of course, high rainfall variability over spatial and temporal domain results in biophysical and socio-economic challenges like flooding, drought, soil erosion, cyclones, waterlocking, salination, etc. These are increasing alongside the changing climate and human-based activities. This program, I am sure the Hydro SOS will enable us to assess the weather related problems, especially in the hydrological conditions which are likely to happen here, to get better and worse over coming weeks and months, which can be used for the stakeholders for management of droughts and floods by analyzing water status outlook scenarios generated by the system. We must together take steps now to recognize the problem, analyze the risk, and plan ahead. There is much more to be done and solution in the hands of all of us, as governments, as industry, citizens, stakeholders, scientists. I hope this forum will dwell upon all these aspects and bring out the actionable recommendation and concept document. Over the period of next 2 days, this workshop would set up a roadmap for the development and timely implementation of the Hydro SOS in GBM Basin. I wish all scientists from WMO, meteorological and hydrological services from member countries will come out with a detailed concept plan and a roadmap for also implementation and operationalization of Hydro SS in this basin. I wish for full operations of this Hydro SS system in all member countries with mutual regional and international collaboration in the years to come. I wish this event a great success. Thank you, one and all. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, sir. Your thought-provoking address set a perfect platform for delegates to deliberate on the issues raised by you. Ladies and gentlemen, as a token of our respect and appreciation, we present shawls to our dignitaries. May I request Dr. M. Mahapatra, Director General of Meteorology, to honor our chief guest, Dr. M. Ravichandran, Secretary, Ministry of Earth Sciences and Science and Technology. Now a memento to a guest of honor, Dr. Johannes Kuhlmann, WMO. A memento to a guest of honor, Mohammad Azizur Rahman, PR of Bangladesh with WMO. A memento to a guest of honor, Shri Ram Gopal Kharbuja, PR of Nepal with WMO. Now a memento to a guest of honor, Shri R.K. Sinha, Chairman, CWC, India. A memento to a guest of honor, Mohammad Fazlur Rashid, Director General, Bangladesh. Last but not the least, a memento to a guest of honor, Dr. Rin Kim, WMO. Thank you very much, sir. I now request Shri B.P. Yadav, Head Hydrology Division of IMD and the convener of this workshop, to propose a vote of thanks.
Good morning to all of you. It's really a privilege and joy to extend a formal vote of thanks to all the dignitaries from all the participating nations, to invited guests, my fellow colleagues from various institutes in India, MOES, NCMWF, IITM, NDRF, NDMA, and from IMD. Sir, this workshop has been just organized by India Meteorology Department. But truly, I can say it is a joint organization by IMD or India with Central Water Commission and all the national meteorological and hydrological services of the participating countries, because we were in touch with them, and of course WMO. So it is not a joint organization by IMD, it is a joint organization by all the national meteorological and hydrological services of all the participating nations. So thank you all for joining in this workshop, helping us to design this workshop, and I can say that this is a dream come true. When we got this proposal from WMO to organize this workshop, I was a bit taken back. It was only 1 month time, and I was asked to invite not only the delegates, but the heads of all the meteorological and hydrological services. We needed PRs over here, and it was a challenge to make them convinced to come over here, because they were busy in COP also. They were just come from the attending COP. But all of you have come over here, sir. Thank you very much. Of course, my special thanks to our Secretary, sir, for agreeing to inaugurate this workshop as chief guest, and for providing all the support and guidance during the course of organization of this workshop. Special thanks to Director General of IMD, Dr. Mahapatra ji, without whom this workshop would not be possible. He is the, you can say, force behind all these arrangements and organizations, and he's almost on day-to-day basis inquiring and helping us in making arrangements. Thank you very much, sir. From all the delegates from the national and other countries, Bhutan participating online, thank you for coming to India and for joining this workshop. There may be many shortcomings, so with folded hands, I say sorry to all of you for any shortcomings, but I know that this was not easy for me to bring such a high dignitary at a place under these COVID conditions when clearances from government are so difficult to obtain. And for that, IMD team or hydrology team has worked nearly 1 month without rest. Saturday, Sunday, holiday, Diwali, we all celebrated in my room. So great thanks to my team for doing a wonderful job to my satisfaction, and of course, it was a good work by all of you. Make my life very easy, just to inquire, काम हो गया क्या? Yes, done. And give them the next job, item of the job. So that was easy for me, but for you, I know it was difficult. So thank you very much. Last but not the least, thanks to Central Water Commission, especially from India, because without them, this was not possible. They are the equal partners in organizing this, and not only that, further taking this project further ahead. So special thanks to Central Water Commission, and of course, their complete team is with us. Last but not the least, I once again thank to the this hall arrangements by the Lee Meridian Hotel at a very concessional rate. So thank you for them. Thank you once again for coming over here. I say thank you to you all, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Dignitaries, invitees, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the inaugural function of Hydro SOS Regional Workshop. I invite you all to join us for refreshments. Before proceeding for tea, may I request all the dignitaries and delegates of workshop to kindly stay back for photograph. Thank you all. Have a great day and a great workshop. Thank you.
Thank you.